song. Good evening, everyone. It's Trending Thursday on this Thursday night. We hope you had a great day. We're going to talk about what's trending. But good evening. This is Carol Sue, aka Naughty Bus, live with you.
Sistas. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and Trending Thursday at night. There's always something trending, and about an hour or so ago, and people may be alerted to this by now, got a news flash that David Crosby passed away.
Who passed away?
David Crosby, 81 years old.
David.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't see that. I was didn't really watch the news until I got the alert about Baldwin being, formally charged or whatever. So no, I did not hear about him. Oh, that's so sad. Such sad news. Great band. And it was one of those bands where, they throughout all their careers, not all of them were always together. So it was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Like they're all different variations. That's sad to hear. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, wow, it's just, one of those things where, you go, gosh, you remember different songs and, where you were when they happened. And yeah, it was kind of like, geez, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's such sad news. And, music, in that time, in that era, I always say is timeless. It's kind of funny because you hear a lot of that music from, the 60s, 70s, and 80s kind of revamped for commercials now, and I crack up about that piece to it. But there's something about listening to, that album on a record player and just the liveness of it, different time, different era, but definitely the music is timeless. So our hearts and prayers go out to all his families and, all of us that absolutely enjoyed his music. So, that's just, sad news to hear. And of course, obviously, this ongoing case involving the Baldwin, one of the Baldwins, which was it? Alex Baldwin? I always get, there's so many of them. So it was funny because when the alert came in, the news was on, but I wasn't really paying attention because I had a busy day getting back from being away all week in New England, working the cheer and dance tournament at Foxwoods, which was a huge success. And our next event is going to be at Mohegan Sun, March 8th and 9th or 9th and 10th. I got to look at the dates. So I'll be flying in for that one. But, so busy with all that. That's why I'm a little hoarse. So I apologize. A lot of screaming at a cheer tournament. But, the news, the alert came on. And ironically, they did a lot of clips of him right after the incident. And he wasn't the only one that's charged. There was actually 3 people involved. One has made some sort of plea deal. The other is a female who, part of her job, they're basically saying that was, she's a young girl, wasn't really totally equipped to handle what she was doing. She was dealing with several weapons. They called her an armor. And, listening to him, obviously he's been on talk shows and been on interviews. And he still is standing by that he did not, pull the trigger, and the FBI and all the forensics saying this gun doesn't just go off. There's no way. You have to actually pull the trigger, and he is still sticking by that.
Yeah, and there's, I think what a lot of people don't realize, or maybe they do or don't, I don't know, but when anyone handles a weapon, even though if somebody says, oh, it's okay, whatever, that is now in your possession. There was, we know that, in my opinion, there wasn't any intention on his part, but once it is in your possession, you are responsible. There's no other way to say that. That's a fact. Very tragic for I don't remember what her name was, Leanna Hutchins, I believe.
I think that's exactly what it is.
You know, hearts and prayers go out to her family. I mean, for them to experience that, and now it's, you know, back in the news again, and, you know, excuse me, time will certainly tell what happens with all of that.
Right, and they're saying for the two charges, I think I'm not really sure about the maximum sentence. They were talking about that. I heard maybe it was 8 years. I'm not really positive on that because that was kind of on the tail end of it. I was just surprised that even the declaration of what the evidence already really kind of showed. And having that deep, the defense that I didn't shoot it. I guess there's always a possibility through the trauma of it, maybe he doesn't remember actually pulling the trigger, was to kind of stick to that defense when it's already basically, they said there's no, like this particular weapon, there's just no way. And they were talking about, all the different pieces of really that safety. They're claiming, they thought it was a cold gun, but at the end of the day, you just, you're handling a weapon, you still double check. Now, they say cold gun. I believe that they were saying that it was packed with some blanks and some light bullets. But, obviously there's a lot of missing pieces of check and balances. And the bottom line is because there was negligence, on that particular piece, this cost someone's life. Now, mind you, they're talking about a movie set, versus say, natural crime per se, being on the street or home invasion or, anything like that. But the bottom line is there's still that responsibility for those check and balances. And there was too many failures, and I'm not saying it's just his fault, but at the end of the day, he's the last one to look at it. Yes, the assumption is that there were the check and balances that took place, but if you're the last person to hold that, and now you're going to do a scene where it's, you're acting it out, you better be checking that.
Well, right. And of course, the big question is how the heck did live ammunition come to be on that set? So a lot of questions of certainly we cannot speculate, but the fact is when a firearm is in your possession, you are responsible for it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts with that.
Exactly.
So what else is trending?
Well, let's see what else is trending. Just, people are like fast forward, into the new year, of course. Today is, January 20th, no, 19th. And, we're already almost 3 weeks into the new year. Where is everyone's health and wellness at? You see a lot of things trending with, different fitness apparatuses, people really joining different challenges. I was excited because this was my 2-week mark to actually do a weigh-in. I lost 3 pounds even being away. And I was very happily surprised because there were a couple of days where I ate a certain food group that's not necessarily on the list. Never overindulge, but I'm still very mindful of what I'm eating. And this is the week that I really am ramping up, I should say, my movement, my exercise, really trying to make sure that I'm increasing my reps. It's not so much that I'm lifting a lot of heavy weight, but just increasing the reps that I do. So I kind of feel that, and it's a good feeling, but there's just so many different pieces of the overall health and wellness industry that's going on. And usually the first quarter of the year, bam, like everyone's like, they're all in. Now, the question is, because what will be trending is everyone falling off that piece to it, is can you stick it out? That's the hard part, sticking to the goals of the solutions that you've kind of declared for yourself. Remember, we're getting away from the whole resolution piece, but rather declaring what our goals are to get to that solution.
Right. And sometimes the solution is really just sitting down and figuring out looking at your day, and when is a good time for you. I prefer, first thing in the morning, other people maybe been midday, maybe at night, is to try at least to pin that down, like start there and then, write down the list maybe, or, in your head, think of what do I like to do? I've seen a couple, excuse me, a couple of my friends on Facebook, and I've talked about the hula hoop before, doing the hula hoop. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that now with it, but I'm like, oh my gosh, that is something that I would love to do. I know, I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I want to go back to skating. That's not going to happen now, but it may happen a little later. So I'm thinking of different things that I can do, of course, which is chair exercises. I can still do weights, not so much any, obviously not even punching the bag, because that entails me moving my body just a little bit too much. But the other day I was just, sitting there just
Just boop, boop. Yeah, why not? It's still movement. You're doing the upper body, but really being mindful. And that is the point. Now, regardless, and of course, we say this with caution. Obviously, you want to check with your doctor, who's ever your orthopedic surgeon, your orthopedic person, whatever may be. If you have an injury, to double check what you can do, but don't think, oh, it's game over. You may have to renegotiate what you can do from a physical perspective. And I apologize, somebody's got the TV blast. Can you hear that?
Yeah, is the door closed?
Yeah, I have. The door is closed. He's got the surround sound on. So hubby is watching a really good movie. Actually, it's a good feel movie. It's about a football player, and it's got I can't think of her name in it. The one who played Miss Congeniality.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, so Sandra Bullock said it's a really, really good football movie. So it's a feel good, but this is, I guess, a football scene. So it's a little loud now. It's calmer now.
Okay. Yeah. So, you think of the stuff that you can do, and I'm
Right.
very mindful of that now, because when I originally, it's been a little over 7 years ago, when I initially injured my hip, I didn't stop exercising. I just kept doing what I was doing, and just, oh, it's my muscle. But then it came to a point, probably about 3 weeks after the initial injury per se, that I'm like, something is not right here, because that was when I couldn't walk properly.
Right. And you just want to renegotiate. And speaking about renegotiation or re-navigating, the other thing that is trending quite a bit, I just got the alert, is Jean-Pierre is continually snapping at reporters for calling her out for giving a non-answer of what is going on with certain pieces of paper. So there's that, that's like non-stop. I've gotten so many alerts regarding that. Again, I didn't see, any of the news as far as her, whatever she was doing, given her White House briefings and whatnot, but apparently they're not really briefing too much. It's more really telling them. But I thought the interesting thing about that piece of that storyline was she keeps reverting to, I can't see that. She keeps reverting to that the DOJ, basically, because she keeps referring their questions, we're going to let justice play out. You go ask those questions to the DOJ, and the DOJ saying, hey, our hands are up. Like, no holds barred. You can answer. We're not telling you not to answer. So you got, that. And then apparently, supposedly, the other big piece, which is kind of upsetting, is that a lot of people that did enter his home were not even had the proper clearance to even look through highly sensitive classified material. So there's that.
Exactly. And there's so much more that I could say about that. And what I will say, of course, everybody is still making the comparison And I understand why that is happening. But you have to look at, and I'm not talking about Democrats, I'm not talking about Republicans. Obviously, one is one is the other. What people have to remember is that the American public does not typically, I don't want to say understand that, that's not what I'm trying to say, but the bottom line is the president under the Presidential Act is the only one who has the authority to declassify top secret, or how they call it, classified documents. He now the person who's at 1600, who was the VP at the time, did not have that authority. So
no, and the other interesting piece is, they're found in 3 different spots in this Biden library or whatever it is. Pardon me?
the think tank.
The think tank is also in question for apparently the millions upon millions of foreign entities investing. And the big question that's really been trending is what was the expectation of them of these huge donations? What were they getting in return? So there's a lot of questions there, a lot of that trending, a lot of politics trending, which always, let's be real, it's always trending, but they're just, it just keeps getting more kooky as we go on. And that's why I kind of like, turn the news off, I don't want to hear it. But it is interesting to say the least. So a lot of people are just chatting about that online. So I think that the top, well, actually I should say the top 3, obviously this with Alec Baldwin, because obviously that's a case that's going on really for 2 years. And now, all this stuff coming out about not only what happened, but who was in and out of their Delaware home. And the other thing that was released today was the son was in and out. So again, it begs to differ. How many people were in and out? What does the visitation log look like? If you just had, a box of classified information in a box, did anyone snoop? Did anyone look at it? Were top secret things revealed? And they also revealed that he was driving his father's car that he's so proud of. So he was in and out of that particular garage. So it does beg to differ of, the securities, like one person put it, you got more security trying to check out a library book than you do, what's going on. And again, why was there one document in one room, a box in a garage, and a whole bunch of other stuff in this think tank area? It's kind of bizarre.
It's very bizarre. And it, as you hear more and more today, I was thinking to myself, it almost reminds me of when you get a little crack in your windshield and then it starts to
Spider out. And it very much is spidering out. The other thing I've been talking about too is, going back to, what we've been doing, what the whole year is about, and getting back into, what kind of fitness we can do, how can we eat. Really, really healthy foods, totally flipping the subject matter, totally good, really healthy foods that are not only good for you, but that they taste good and they look good. So yesterday I had a really interesting salad. It was a quinoa salad, but it was just the seeds. But what it had was roasted vegetables over spinach with a very, very light dressing with some fresh lemon. Oh my gosh, it was delicious, with a really delicious hummus with some raw veggies on the side. And, the point being is we are busy people. So if you've got to simplify your life, and that was something that I ate at a restaurant. So, when you're out and about, there's sometimes the menu is not going to be conducive to what you're trying to accomplish from food groups perspective. But you know what? You can always go to the go-to salad. Most restaurants do have a salad. I always say ask for the dressing on the side because you never know, how much sugar and or salt is in it. That way you can kind of dip it in and you're not getting it soaked and drenched in a dressing. But gosh, roasted vegetables, you can never go wrong. And they fill you up.
Right, those really good veggies and today I had this excuse me, arugula salad, and I just love the taste of arugula. It almost has like a bitter, and I don't want to say sweet, but depending on what you have on it, it was very good. Really enjoyed it. And of course I had a martini, so I had to have a martini, but it was very good. And
Awesome.
so, what else is trending? I'm freezing my ass off.
Yeah, I hear it was a raw day today. It was absolutely gorgeous day. Got up to the 81 or 82. I wasn't even outside that long because obviously you get home from being away for a week, catching up on mail, catching up on emails, things that I had to get done. So I did sit outside for a little bit, but I was grateful, thankful. It was a bright sunny day, and there is a difference. There is such a big difference from a gray kind of gloomy day to a day of sunshine. So my suggestion for anyone up Northeast, or if you happen to be in an area that it's just miserable, turn on some lights, get on some great good music going, if because we do feel better. We are so much more energized when it's sunny out. And now all of a sudden, if you're in an area where you're lacking in that, it sucks the life out of you, and you really and then you add the rawness or the coldness, so you really have to do your part in trying to brighten up your surroundings, and that's not always easy. So I tell people, turn on some lights, get some good music going that really kind of pumps you up, and just kind of dive in and imagine. I always say either that when you're meditating, imagine that you're in a sunny area. But there's ways to get through it. You just got to kind of push through it. You'll get through it. It won't be winter that much longer. And actually, the Northeast has been pretty blessed. They have had no, knock on wood, no major storms. Which the great thing about that is that you can still come and go, not have to worry about slippery roads and sidewalks, that kind of thing. Which is a lot of people get concerned over that. Who wants to slip and fall? That'll really derail your fitness.
Yes, that absolutely will. Nobody wants that to happen for sure. My gosh, I'm like almost chattering my teeth here. It's so funny. Because this part of the house is typically colder anyways. I got my little heater on, thank goodness. Yeah, so Trending Thursday, and that's what it's all about. Trending in your area. What is trending for you, and how do you brighten your sunshine when you feel, especially in the Northeast with the doom and gloom? How do you brighten your sunshine? Do you create your own? What do you do? We want to know. Go to our website, www.twosistas.online. Leave us a voicemail, or you can always send us in a written contact form. What else is trending before we
Yeah, I mean, those are things that were trending that I saw. Again, I really tried to keep the alerts down today because I know I was diving in and getting a bunch of different things done and caught up. But you know what I always say, even if you don't get the alert, you don't know what's going on, be your own trendsetter. Maybe try something that you think is unique and good, and guess what? Share it with somebody, and it kind of snowballs into everyone else wants to do that. Maybe share a good restaurant that you've been going to, maybe a new type of exercise that you learned to do, share it with somebody else. There are many, many ways. Trendsetters and things that are trending don't have to be necessarily what's out there. It could be what's inside of you.
And on that note, we hope you have an amazing Thursday evening, wherever you are listening. And remember, we all have the power to, as Carol Sue said, to be the trendsetters. And, don't fall into those. And we were, always talk about wellness, of course. And a lot of the commercials or, buy this, sign up for Nutrisystem, whatever it may be. Keep it simplified, because that may be just what you need to be your trendsetter. And on that note, I'm freezing still. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with two
Sistas, and this is Carol, so AKA Naughty Boss. Gonna get a few more things done, and then it'll be time to chill out, maybe do some journaling, and kind of go over the week, what I've accomplished so far, what I still have to get accomplished. I hope you're doing the same, keeping on track, keeping yourself accountable. And maybe that's the thing we should be trend setting, is being accountable to yourself. Not always easy, but we got to do it. We will see you tomorrow for Fantabulous Friday. Have a great day, everyone. Actually, great night. We'll see you tomorrow in the AM. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.